How's it? We are going to be transported into the 1960s. Never been there, but today we're going. So I want to show you guys some examples of some 60s designs. They do a lot of creative stuff here with text, with filling in gaps and with colors and a retro look. So we're going to try to mimic that. Go ahead and put Command N, and we're going to call this retro, your name. And we're going to hit for width 4.65 inches by 4.65 inches. And we won't put a bleed in for now. We can later if you want. Make sure it's 300 DPI and hit OK. And with our square, let's hit space and move this over a little bit. With our square, we're going to add in a color right here for the background. So choose your color for your color scheme. This is actually going to be the border. Okay, so it could be a lighter dark color, it's up to you. And then we're gonna get the rounded edge. So go ahead and hit rounded edge rectangle and just go ahead and make it. Doesn't matter, we'll rearrange it in a second. And choose another of your color scheme without a stroke. So stroke 0. And hit V to resize. And we'll hit Command R to bring up our ruler and go to Illustrator Preferences and Units, and let's go in inches if you're comfortable with that. And so right here we're gonna actually come out and you can see it says width and 4 point. We're gonna go to 4.05. So let's make sure it's 4.05 on each of the edges right here. Okay, so right here is 4.45 with height 4.05, height 4.05. Okay, and looks like we have it all, 4.05. Now what we're going to do is click on here, Command C, Command F to make a duplicate copy, and we're going to hit text and type on Path Tool and click here, and we're going to put the person's name. So I'm just going to use this name as an example, and we are going to use a font called Butterfly Demo, which I'll put in the description. Okay, and if you can't read it very well, let's increase our font size a little bit. So maybe 18-point font is good. And we are next going to need to put some kind of symbol to separate our names. So go to Type Glyphs, and in our glyphs, go ahead and type in wingdings. Everyone should have wingdings. And we're going to look for the flower. So go ahead and click on the, double click on the white and the black flower, and then you can decide which one you want, either white or black. I'm going to choose white. And again, even for the Jaden font, you can choose the color that's most contrasting to the background. So we're going to hit Command C and then go to the end and hit Command V. If there's not a space here, you might want to make a space, but then adjust the font size accordingly. Okay, so we have that. So I'm going to actually copy that and that extra space and go here and hit paste, 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 paste. So go paste all the way around. So if you don't like how it went around, you can actually come up here, and change, move it around according to what you want. But I like how it looks right now, so we're just going to keep it as is. Make sure the vertical and below is the same size. I am noticing that it's not the same size here, so I'm gonna have to, we're gonna lock our layer, this background blue. I'll click it and hit Command 2 so you can't select it anymore. Next, you're going to grab your retro art that you created of yourself or the singer, and see, I have a tutorial on how to do that in the description. It's really quick and short, not very hard at all. But let's center it, left align it about there, and then we're gonna create a new layer in our layers, and we're gonna call this guides. Okay, and so with our guides, we're gonna kind of with our B for brush tool, so kind of lay out how we're going to do things here. So let's go ahead and I'm gonna use brown or any contrasting color. So maybe I'm gonna go like here for my singer's name, and then the song name, if it's a short name, you know, like man or something short, you can do that. If it's more words, you may need to go longer. At the bottom, you may want to save this for something later we'll do. For our text, we are going to hit T for text, and I'm going to put the person's name, Jaden Han, and we're going to use a Hobo font. It's called Hobo, and I'll try to put that in the description. And we're going to resize that and try to make it fit like so. Then I'm gonna, and you can use a color of your choice according to your color scheme. Make sure it's contrasting. And I'm gonna go to Object, Envelope Distort, make with Warp, and I'm gonna choose Flag. And you want a little bit of a bend here, like so. And then hit OK. And I'm gonna go ahead and hide my guide for now. So I'm going to click on the Direct Selection tool, and I'm gonna kind of fill this in a little bit. You can kind of edit it. Now you want the same width of a border. You do want a border, like a margin, sorry. And you do want the same size margin. So I'm going to try to measure that up. And that looks pretty good. Okay. Like so. I may want to make it a little bit bigger. I kind of want to fill in, you know, his head right there. And again, it's all depends on what letters you have, how long it is. One may look better than the other, so you just have to kind of use your creativity and work out the best way of doing that. Now we have a little gap here, so but before we do that, we're going to hit Command C, Command F. Remember that, paste a layer on top of it. We're going to use a color, okay, to color this here, but you need to go ahead and hit Edit Contents. And for the edit contents, I'm going to choose a different font color. That's a little bright because it's going to be behind it. And I'm going to hit Command left bracket, and then I'm going to hit with the arrows. Let's see, left or right. So that's, and you may want to zoom in a little bit more to get a more perfection. And by the way, we are done with this background layer, so you can hit Command T to lock that background layer. Even the font, Command T and lock that font. And there, I like that. So just use your arrow keys and get it. Don't get too much of a gap, just a slight gap, like so. Okay, now we're gonna put featuring right here because we want to fill in that text. So featuring. And go ahead and click on that, and I'm going to expand that out. Okay, and let's do the same thing. Object, Envelope Distort. It went too fast. Object with Warp. And instead of flag this time, we're going to do arc. Actually, there we go, arc. But let's take off some of the bend because see, we want it to nicely go according to the flow of the text. So we're going to hit OK, and you can have the same font color, a different font color, but let's change that in a second. I'm going to zoom in here, and I'm going to hit the Direct Selection tool, and you can kind of, you know, decide how you want to do it. If you want to change it out a little bit. Okay, so just again, all depends on your design. Okay, I'm going to edit with the star, and I'm not going to use black. I'm actually going to use that color that I used to contrast the drop shadow right there. Now we're going to put the song's name below it. So we're going to go ahead with our text. We're going to type here, and just do the best song ever, because I'm sure he would sing the best song ever. Now I'm going to have to break up that text. I can go back here in my guides. So for this, the best song ever, so it's probably going to be like here. I probably don't need that one. The best, like that, the best song ever. There we go. And I can lock my guides right here. I can lock them in. So I'm going to go here for the best. And I can hide that for now. And make that a little bit bigger. Okay, and for him, Command T. I'm going to move him over just a little bit. Hold on the Shift key, and like that. Now we're going to go to, actually we're not going to use black. We're going to use, I'm going to try to match that green right here, like so. And then I'm going to switch the two. So instead of it being like that, I'm going to switch it. So it's going to be an outline. Okay, so for the stroke, it needs to be a little bit more predominant. So that's too much, but that is just right. Okay. Now we need to envelope distort, which is our most frequently used tool for this tutorial. And for the arc, yeah, that looks like it's gonna center pretty good. So let's go ahead and use that, and let's move that up. Okay, and direct selection tool. I'm gonna zoom in here, option and scroll, and then I can kind of like get a little bit more precise and make sure again it's the same width. The margin is about the same. Okay. So that looks good for the best. Now we got my guides again. Didn't go according to his plan, but it's okay. The best song ever. I don't remember what size font that was, but if you can remember what size that is, otherwise just resize accordingly. And I forgot to tell you, you should actually take your character palette and you can adjust the kerning. So you can make it thinner, or if it's like a really long word, or you can make it a little bit, spread it out, you know, if you need to fit it. So the song ever, it's about the same as the best. So I can keep it about the same, but if you need to adjust these two, you can accordingly to that. So that can be very helpful. Like so. So I'm going to again do my font like so, and switch the two, and 2-point font, and then object, envelope distort, make with warp, and that looks pretty good. Okay, zoom in, and I'm gonna have to, again I want to move that up and try to keep the same margin. I'm getting a little bit close here, so I'm going to move that down a little bit off the margin because you want a margin here. But otherwise, that looks pretty good. I mean, you could come out a little bit maybe. Alright, there we go. We have our poster design. So if there's other things, longer song or other information, you can go there. But let's go ahead and make sure that our singer is nicely sized here. Notice he's coming off the page, so we need to fix that. Rectangle tool, go on the edge here, and let's draw a square right here. So it covers it. Hit V as in Victor. Hold on the Shift key and select the singer and clipping mask, and we're going to clip mask so it's not hidden. So that's just the part for your design of retro. Hope you got inspired, and if you ever get a time machine, check out the 60s. Have no idea what's there, but at least now we can visualize what happened.